not necessarily those of 1010XL 92.5 FM. Now, recruiting tips, advice, and better ways to train. B3 Better presents The Amateur's Edge with Jerrian Sanders, Randy Wade, and A.D. Roberts.
Good morning, and yes, welcome to The Amateur's Edge, powered by B3 Better Sports Performance. This is going to be a good day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I got my main man, Jay, is in the house, Jerrian Sanders, and you know, Cleo becoming like a fixture in this thing, man.
Regular,
Hey, man, I just appreciate you guys having me, man. I like being in here with you guys.
Well, we like having legends in the house.
Definitely.
Yes,
Definitely.
and speaking
a pro versus a joke.
and that would be me.
No, that'd be Randy. Randy's a joke.
That's a joke?
Yeah,
Shout out to Randy.
Shout out to Randy.
A well-dressed Joe, though.
A well-dressed joke.
Oh, man, you should have saw him last week, bro. Oh, man, he was killing it.
But, yeah, Randy had to go away this week. It's his son's graduation, so shout out to Latrell Wade on graduating from college today, man. He put in a lot of work.
Big shout out.
Great young man.
Big shout out.
And then we brought in another special guest, another legend, local legend, Jacksonville legend, NFL legend, Marcus Stroud. How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Felt weight killer in the building.
Okay. Hey,
Don't let that secret out the bag. Don't let the secret out the bag.
Felt weight killer.
Yeah, he looking like he ready to go tee off, huh?
Yes, sir.
Y'all getting ready to go tee off after this?
Yeah, man. Take a little money out of his pocket. That's all.
Oh, that's how y'all do?
That's it. Take a little money out of his pocket. You know how to do it.
Good deal. So, look, we're going to have a fun show today, man. We're going to talk a little bit about some of everything today. We're going to talk about the NFL, how things changed. We felt like it would be a great opportunity to bring in some guys who played in the league and get their perspective. A lot of times people talk about, these guys should do this, they should do that, not really understanding and knowing the ins and outs of the business or what have you. So we're going to talk everything from, the new targeting rules, how the quarterbacks are protected, why NFL players are the only pro athletes who don't have fully guaranteed contracts. We want to talk about all of that stuff today, too. And amongst other things, we're going to talk about the pitch count. That's been controversial. So talk a little bit about that in the MLB. We also want to talk a little bit about the local kids who got drafted into the NFL. Major. I mean, we got over 10 kids from Jacksonville having the opportunity to play NFL football, and that's huge. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Before we get too deep, though, I want to pay a special tribute to one of my mentors who just passed away last Thursday, Gerald White. He was an all-time great from Auburn, point guard. He actually was Charles Barkley's point guard. Wow. Was a great mentor of mine, was a great mentor to a lot of kids in the city of Augusta, Georgia. Augusta's a small city, but at one point, we was known as the point guard mecca.
Okay. So the next question I'm about to ask.
What's that?
Were you considered one of these point guards?
Point guard, exactly. G-O-D.
Okay,
G-O-D.
I got you.
Definitely. And he taught me a lot of life lessons, man. I remember one time we went up to Tennessee and he brought us up there to play against some of those kids, and he told them we was coming. And when we came up there. But I had a little bit of an attitude problem, and something happened with a play didn't go my way, and I kicked the ball or something like that, and he sat my butt down the rest of that weekend just to teach me a lesson. And things like that go a long way. And again, when you have people like that who make an impact on your life, you definitely want to, give them their roses. And, the last time I talked to him was like a month ago. So, got nothing but love for him, and I want to send condolences or what have you to his family or what have you. So, much love, Gerald. Shifting gears a little bit, the NBA playoffs, man. Y'all got a chance to see that Boston Sixers game?
Man, been watching it, man. Boston, man, they look tough. Embiid came back, slowed the game down a lot.
Yeah.
They slowed it down. Boston turned up the temperature, and, man, they look tough, man. They look strong like they always do. So we'll see what happens with that series.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked too because I'm like, well, they won without Embiid. So think what's going to happen when Embiid gets there. And it was the exact opposite. And I'm not sure James Harden is really in his element as a point guard. He can play it, and I give him credit for that. And people who play sports know how hard it is to shift gears like that. Like to shift gears from being a point guard that facilitates the offense to being a scorer. That's a phenomenal thing to be able to do. And the Sixers seem like they thrive a little bit more with him being that first option.
I know, man. And I was talking to one of my guys on the phone last night. He's a Celtics fan. And he said something that was, kind of stood out. He said, They play better without him. I was like, the MVP
MVP
of the NBA.
That's crazy.
They play better without him. I said that's a strong statement. I don't agree with it, but
Yeah, that's a bad take on him.
Why you say that?
That's a terrible take. Nah, man. Just we got to stop giving James Harden a pass, man. We've been watching this for the past decade, man. He disappears in the playoffs,
Preach.
bro. You know, the first game when he scored like 45, you know, he was aggressive, but once Embiid came back, and it's not only James' fault, it's the game slowed down because everybody's sitting back kind of depending on or waiting on Embiid. You know what I mean? So those guys just kind of they go in the background. But when you look at a Denver,
Yeah.
when Big Jokic comes in the game, he facilitates those guys move around. They're not waiting for him just to score the points. You know what I mean?
And to piggyback off your point, Harden was 2 for 7 from the 3-point line
last night.
2 for 7 last night. That, you got to shoot a better percentage, man. Especially when you're getting double. You know, Embiid's getting double, he's kicking it, and you open. Gotta knock him down, man. Make a miss league, man, like they say.
Yep. And speaking of Denver, the Suns and Nuggets game, that was a great game last night. I thought the Suns were gonna run away with it, but them Nuggets, they pulled it back together in the end. But the Suns did prevail behind 47 points from Devin Booker and 36 from KD. So them boys, they back in it, man. It's going to be interesting. But to your point, though, Jokic, when he get that ball, he facilitates the offense. Big time. So you know to move around, find that open spot.
And I'm going to ask a quick question amongst you guys. I just want to know what you guys feel about Chris Paul and him getting injured in the playoffs. It's pretty consistent.
It's very consistent.
What is the issue? Like, what's going on? Like, if you training him, what you doing with him? Like, how you helping him? Like, if you were training him, like, what would be some of the things you would help him out with those soft tissue issues?
I mean, tons of injury prevention, exercises, tons of recovery work. I mean, he puts in the work in the offseason. I think he's in better shape. He's old.
Bro, like y'all got to realize what we're saying now. I mean, I hate to say it, but we saw these guys been in the league a long time now. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't even realize, like, Jeff Green got a ball spot now, bro. He did it up so long. He got a ball spot now, man. You know
hey, man, I got a ball spot, man. What you mean?
Right, me too.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, though. Like, Chris Paul is in his late 30s now.
He is.
Mid to late 30s.
He
LeBron looking old now, bro.
LeBron looking old is on
like
the
the
way.
other night,
He took that charge.
That first 2 quarters, he looked like LeBron going freight train. Second half, bro, was tired, man.
He was.
Yeah,
He was tired.
for sure.
Man, that's 20 years, though, bro.
20
is.
years,
Like,
man.
That is. And I guess, I mean, that's why they do the whole load management thing. And I guess, but Chris been hurt most of the season, though, hadn't he?
I don't know.
Significant amount.
I don't know. I just know every time the playoffs roll around,
Yep, whether it's with the Clippers, the Pelicans,
the Rockets, when they had the Golden State on the hook,
They
they
did have
let
him
him
on
off the
the
hook, and he got hurt for those last couple of games. Like, you see it consistently. Like, he gets hurt when he has to strain and play real aggressive basketball. Wow.
59 games this year.
59 games this year. That's a lot of games, man.
But I think between KD and Booker, man, they got enough firepower to wield them.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Denver's a complete team, bro. They don't, like, they come in phases.
Yes.
They got a deep bench, and like, if you stop one aspect of their game, they got a 3-point game.
Yeah.
Stop the 3-point, they going inside to the big man. Like, it's hard to stop that.
And they make their free throws. And when you get into game, 5, game 6, game 7, how much of these older guys going to have left?
That's true. KD about 36 now, right?
He putting up buckets. Oh, my goodness.
He is. Definitely. So what y'all think about the game tonight, the Warriors and Lakers? Who you got, Stroud?
Man, I'm late show all day,
Okay.
but it just depends on what AD show up. He's another crazy guy.
we
I
go.
mean, he could dominate every single night if he wanted to.
If he wanted
it's
to.
just like, with him, I think I don't know what it is.
Is it his mental approach?
It's
It got to
definitely.
be his mental, bro.
It got to be.
Because it's almost like he can turn it on and turn it off, but he turns it off at the wrong time.
He sure do, man. And it's one of those things. I'm late show all day too, man. But I think it's one of those things too where LeBron gonna have to pull up his boots and just say, you know what, I gotta leave it all out. And it's not like he don't, but I think he might have to crank it up just one more.
But can he do it?
Can't.
Can he do it?
At this point, man, I'm telling you, he's LeBron play at 8 all the time anyway. 8. So if you turn it up 8 to 10, he's playing. He plays that way all the time now. So you imagine a 40-year-old man playing 100% for 82 plus the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
More than what, 15 seasons of his career?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot of wear and tear.
I got faith in my boys. I think they're going to will their way through the night, though. So.
Well, we're going to have faith in all of them, so we're going to pay some bills real quick, if that's okay. All right, this segment was brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage Jacksonville, helping home buyers and homeowners accomplish their financing goals. Head on over to www.boejax.com and get to know their dedicated team. You're listening to The Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Join XL Primetime live Wednesday, May 10th at an open house for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living on Edgewood Court. Get live grill and pizza oven demos, free food and drinks, and see their new outdoor living displays from noon to 3.
Houston, we do not have a problem. Houston's Meats is now carrying locally raised cattle from right here in Florida. Ground beef to steaks to even roasts, each cut is graded USDA choice and has been raised locally from birth to harvest. Houston's Meats at Main Street and 295.
We understand today's real estate challenges. With low inventory and high demand, you need a mortgage partner who can help navigate your financial needs. Bank of England Mortgage takes pride in helping clients make informed decisions. From application to closing, every step of the loan process is made in their local branch. For more information, go to boejax.com or call 992-1000. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England, NMLS 418481, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
1010XL wants to know you better.
Could we cut to the chase?
Take our listener survey and share your thoughts. You could win tickets to Jags and Gator games or the chance to see Darius Rucker at Daly's Place.
Oh, come on. What do you say? Are you in?
Just take the survey at 1010XL.com.
You're good at remembering stats, but not at coming up with gift ideas for mom.
Find great gift ideas from Restaurant Orsay and the Aesthetic Center.
You're a good one, aren't you?
Go to 1010XL.com now. Happy Mother's Day from 1010XL.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
This is Denny Thompson. Join me for the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Wednesday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gators podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
The only thing better than a day at Jack's Beach is driving there in a new ride. And now is the time, because it's the Summer Starts Here sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. It's over 350 premium pre-owned on the lot. All makes, all models, certified pre-owned, you name it, Arlington has it. You even get 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it for one that you do. But this sale won't last long, so don't wait. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Attention all business owners. The raining season is coming and it's important to ensure that your property storm drains are free from debris and functioning properly. That's where Duck Duck Rooter comes in. Our powerful VACCon truck can effectively clean out your storm drains and prevent costly damage to your property from flooding. Don't let clogged storm drains ruin your business and reputation. Call Duck Duck Rooter today to schedule a cleaning before the rains hit. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
He doesn't live in the water.
What's going on here? Get him in the boat, get him in the boat.
But he practically lives on it.
Nice. Woo!
Captain Kevin and the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Houston's Meats.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound and Security is hiring salespeople right now. If you want to sell new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound and Security is looking for you. Tyson Sound and Security is hiring for sales positions, and they will train you to be successful. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. That's 762-1000. Hiring for sales positions right now. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Equal Opportunity Employer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's the Amateur's Edge. Brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a good time this morning. You know, Jay is in the house. We got Cleo Lemon in here with us, and the main man, Marcus Stroud.
Strizzle!
Yes, sir, man.
We doing our thing. And listen, the line is open. The line is open. And if you want to call in and talk to any one of these superstars here, you can give us a call at 904-641-1010. That's 904-641-1010. Lines are open.
Cool. You know, with the NFL draft just wrapping up this past week, the Jacksonville area simply had a phenomenal weekend. We had over 9 kids drafted into the NFL draft this past week.
Strong, man.
You had Amir Speed, Shamari Connor, Will Mallory, Warren McClendon, Xavier Hutchinson, Mario Douglas, Dwayne McBride, Cooper Hodges, Isaiah Bolden. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those kids came up through our program, through the B3 Better Sports.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
6 of those kids came up through our B3 Better Sports Performance program. And this area is so talent rich, so talented. And again, I'm from the upper part of Georgia. I know you South Georgia and Mississippi. Have you guys ever seen anything like this?
Well, the crazy thing, I've had the fortunate opportunity to coach in this area. So I coached high school football, coached at First Coast High School, and to know the type of talent we brought through that program with Coach Marty Lee, Coach C. Those guys did an amazing job, but the talent, to your point, it is everywhere. It is abundant, and these kids work extremely hard at it.
Yeah, and you know, I talk about this all the time, like, half of these kids I hadn't heard of. Like, these kids make second team, third team, all area, what have you, and they just go to college and they flourish. And it happens every year. It'll be interesting. I like to get a count. Maybe, Rob, you can do some research for us and see how many kids in Jacksonville, from Jacksonville right now, are in the NFL. I want to say it's over 10 right now before this draft.
Oh, yeah. That's no doubt about it, yeah.
A significant amount. So that's cool. So I definitely wanted to give a huge shout-out to the city. That's big for the city. Big. Other thing that was very interesting, having a Bulldog in the house, the Philadelphia Eagles, it seemed like that half their roster the Bird Dog. What you think about that, Big Stroud?
Hey, man, proof's in the pudding. You're talking to a biased person right here, but of course, I mean, Philly already had a good basis with what they had, and then you had a guy like Carter.
Yep.
And a good high character player in Nolan. He's a great character, but got a great motor. He's a great player. You know, they're surrounding those guys with a lot of guys they have familiarity with.
Yeah.
And you've seen what those guys can do for the past 2 years. And with the type of coaching that they can get up in Philly, with the type of veteran leadership, with a flex of cops on the line and stuff like that, man, that's dangerous. That's crazy to be in that position when you're getting drafted, a high pick, because usually when you get drafted that high, you are going to a trash team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You are coming off,
you're
the number 9 pick.
Yep.
You're going to a team that is
lost the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl caliber.
So that you got to give the front office credit for, you know, assuming and getting these high draft picks, even though they're winning each and every year, competing in Super Bowls, but some type of way they make the right trades.
Yep.
They get the picks back, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're not retooling. They're just adding on.
Those are the teams that you see are consistently in the top tier of the league, and those aren't the team that always, you know, I hate to say it, it's a few teams that's in the league. It seems like every year you hear them talking about their rebuilding. It's a rebuilding process. It's like, and then you have certain teams that, regardless of what, they always in the in the mix, in the talk. You know, even like a New England, they're on the downswing right now, but they're still winning 8-9 games a season.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's tough to
they're
do.
still on the outside of the playoff picture.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Then they went and they got Swift.
Right.
They traded for Swift, another dog. So they just retooling and loading up, man. So what's the new nickname? Philadelphia Bird Dogs, you said?
Hey, man, that's just a nickname.
That's
It's
just a
still
nickname.
the Eagles. Bird Dogs.
You sure you don't want to petition for the change of the name?
No. But I mean, but you have to look at it like this: the way college football is now, and the way they're turning out these players. It's hard to turn down players from a team that's won back-to-back natties. That's why when Alabama was doing what they're doing, you see so many, even now, you see so many Alabama players getting taken off the board highly because they know those guys are getting tutored and coached in NFL-like environment. They know the terminology. They know the speed of the game already by playing in the SEC to a certain extent.
And I would say it speaks to their culture, right? So you got the right person in charge. You got Kirby. He has the right culture, right? Nick Saban at Alabama has the right culture. To your point, it's an NFL culture. They've transitioned right into that NFL program, that organization, and it's just a seamless transition. Man.
Seamless. I saw something the other day that Georgia team is the first team to ever have a player on the defense, on every starting position on defense drafted in the first round. So they start corner, nickel, D-line, linebacker, safety. First round is the last 2 years.
And to that point, Nick Saban, before he took off when I was with the Dolphins, and he said he wasn't leaving, and
he left you hanging.
And he took off and went back to Crimson Tide. He made a great point before he left. He said, you know, when I coach in the NFL, I get one first-round draft pick. I get one. He said, I go to coach Power 5 college football, big-time football. I get endless amount of first-round draft picks. I just have to go and recruit them. I got to, identify the talent, and then I have to recruit the talent. But there's no one telling me at the SEC I can't recruit 10 future first-round draft picks. I can't recruit. So that's what he does. I don't need one first-round draft pick. I'm trying to get 10 of them through recruiting. That's his mindset.
That's a very interesting perspective. I never thought of that.
Strong.
And that helps. That's why if you've noticed the past couple of drafts, you see Nick Saban on the camera with his players now. That's great recruiting. Back in the day, you never used to see Nick. This isn't the first time Nick Saban had first-round guys from Alabama going now.
Right.
But now, that's a recruiting tool. When you can be on there with your first-round quarterback, your number one pick quarterback.
Bryce, right there. Standing right with him.
Come on.
That's strong.
And you go into a kid's home and say, and you sit in front of his parents and say, hey, did y'all see the draft?
Exactly.
What we putting out here in Alabama if this is your aspiration. So, it's smart. Hopefully Kirby be at the draft soon.
There you go. Good deal. So shifting gears a little bit, man, again, you guys played for a couple of years in the NFL, and, needless to say, it's changed significantly since you guys have been there. One of the biggest changes is the rules against targeting and quarterbacks. A lot of people are feeling like quarterbacks are being coddled, and I felt like it'd be an interesting thing to talk about today, being that you played quarterback for a couple of years in the league, Cleo, and that Big Stroud played on the other side as a defensive lineman. So I wanted to get a perspective from the offensive side, from the quarterback side, and then Stroud give his perspective on the new rules and how things change.
So I'm going to say this. When Stroud first walked in the room, we were beside each other. You saw the size difference, right? You see how big this dude is.
Definitely.
So getting coddled as a quarterback right now, listen, if I played, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm going to be straight up with you. Because those are life-changing hits. Those are season-changing hits. Those are game-changing hits, right? And if you can take and minimize those hits throughout a game, you can have the life expectancy of a Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, or athletic quarterbacks that like to move around now, right? And they're going to take more hits. So we got to protect them. We got to protect him.
Stop
Protect your investment. You just gave Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts $50 million a year. And now I'm just going to say, hey, look, y'all go and just go and hit them any kind of way you want to. Yeah, okay. Talk to me, big strizzle.
Sounds so bogus. Now listen to me.
He said that so calmly.
I did not think he was going to say it like that.
Let's be for real, okay? You just talked about this $50 million investment.
It's a business.
Okay, it's definitely a business. But if I make a $50 million investment, I don't want the rules to protect that investment. I'm going to put steps in place where it's going to be hard to get to that investment. And those steps are called those 5 offensive linemen in front of that guy. It's my job to put 5 competent guys in front of him to protect that investment. Now, as a D lineman, it's not like they're saying hike and nobody's touching me and I'm just running unabated and hitting this guy in the mouth. They have another guy that's my size, maybe a little bigger, with another guy on each side of him, and all 3 of them usually get paid pretty good money.
Okay, I hear you.
So if I have to work hard and beat the guy in front of me to get to that quarterback, that's all the protection I need. Once I break through that first barrier of protection,
game on.
All bets are off.
Hey, I feel you. But how many tackling drills have you seen a quarterback do during practice?
Oh,
how many times do they get hit in practice?
Man, okay. Since we're talking about all this protection and everything, what about protection for the big guys? How many times have you seen us get protected when your old linemen get beat and decide, we have to protect our quarterback and jump on the ground and leg whip you, cut your knees. The referee looks at that and, we got to – there's no problem. So where's the protection for the guys who have to already work through this barrier to get to the prize? Where the protection at for those guys?
Where I have the biggest problem is once your momentum is going, like a big guy like Stroud, his momentum going, and the quarterback at that split second gets rid of the ball. Stroud can't just stop in midair.
Right.
He goes through with the tackle.
15 yards. 15. 15. Give it to him.
And that's the kind of stuff that's hard for me. And those they've been game changers.
And that's what makes it bogus.
They game
Especially
changers.
now, I've seen some calls where the D lineman has done the best job he could, beat the guy. The O lineman jumps on his back, pushes him into the quarterback, and he gets a call.
That sounds like an excuse to me.
No, I mean,
that sounds about right. Quarterbacks have become pansies. What happened to the tough guy, Brett Favre, quarterback, want to stand in the pocket and take the hit and deliver the ball and all that stuff? What happened to that, man? Listen, the game changed. It's not our fault that everybody wants to get so smart and we got all these RPOs. You guys have made the quarterback a runner. So if he becomes a runner, he's actively hit.
Listen,
like anybody else on the field.
Listen, man, you 6'6", 6'7", 300 plus pounds. You run like the wind. You can change direction. You got long arms. Like, what are we supposed to do with all that? Like, the athlete has changed, right? They are bigger. They are faster. So we have to make these changes to protect the player.
Because that works both ways.
It works both ways.
So why should if it works both ways, if the athletes are better on both sides of the ball, why should one side of the ball be handicapped? Because the fans want to see points?
Or Bryce Young.
Let's call it what it is now.
So now, what was the biggest deal with Bryce Young going into the draft? What was his size? What's his size?
About 5'10".
Yeah. They say he was 205. He played at like 185, 190.
So that's a rules problem?
No.
So why should he be protected by the rules? Because he didn't grow.
He need to eat his Wheaties, that's what you said. Come on, man.
It's funny, man, because so I witnessed it firsthand, and I wish Randy was here to talk about it. We went when Clemson played Ohio State for that semifinal game in Arizona. Ohio State was completely dominating the game. until Sean got that targeting call against Trevor Lawrence. And it was the most bogus call, man. Like, to this day, you look at it, and it completely changed the complexion of the whole game, and Clemson went on to win that game. So, it's hard to follow those rules and be all the way on board of those rules when it changes the game to that degree.
I definitely agree.
Because when your momentum going, it's going. Yeah. You can't stop it mid-air.
And it's a judgment call. I think it's definitely a judgment call. It's a tough job for the refs to call. But they got to make it. It's going to change. It's going to swing the game. Either way, it's part of it. That's the only thing I can say.
Gotcha.
That's what we have.
Good deal.
Well, gentlemen, I hate to do it. Let's pay some bills real quick. This segment was brought to you by First Coast Cargo. First Coast Cargo leads the freight transportation and logistics services market and is known as the region's most dependable and highly professional service provider. Contact First Coast Cargo toll-free today at 844-731-2137 for all your professional shipping needs. You're listening to The Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
If you're often tired, have trouble exercising, or your heartbeat feels irregular, you might have atrial fibrillation, or AFib. Left untreated, AFib can put a strain on your heart and increase your risk of a stroke. But the new Heart Rhythm Center at Baptist Health can help. With the latest treatment options for heart disorders like AFib, our team of specialists can get you feeling stronger again. Learn more at baptistjacks.com/AFib or call 904-202-2342.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yas, Dr. Mitchell Yas, and the Yas method. Now, I know you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best-kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yas and the Yas method. Call him today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yas.
Attention all business owners. The raining season is coming and it's important to ensure that your property storm drains are free from debris and functioning properly. That's where Duck Duck Rooter comes in. Our powerful VACCON truck can effectively clean out your storm drains and prevent costly damage to your property from flooding. Don't let clogged storm drains ruin your business and reputation. Call Duck Duck Rooter today to schedule a cleaning before the rains hit. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
First Coast Cargo is one of the region's leading asset-based logistics and transportation providers. First Coast Cargo has the area's largest fleet, provides final mile services in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia for Fortune 500 companies such as Amazon, Walmart, and Lowe's, as well as specialized or white glove services for FedEx, UPS, and other national logistics companies. First Coast Cargo, headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, with its extensive experience and dedication to exceeding customer expectations, provides transportation, warehousing, logistics, and 3PL services to customers nationwide. Manufacturers, distributors, and purchasing agents know they can depend and rely on First Coast Cargo to be at their side 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit First Coast Cargo at firstcoastcargo.com or call with your transportation or logistics needs at 328-5700.
High Flying Jacko here, sports fans, and I was at my grandkids' flag football game when I smelled barbecue. So I spot this highly intelligent group of barbecue lovers with a box of Woody's Barbecue. Man, those are some smart people, I thought. Not so smart. Everyone's crowding around them wanting some. But in the end, they shared, and everyone loved everyone, and it was all good, thanks to Woody's.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
1010XL Draft Profiles are brought to you by Travel Camp RV Sales and Service and Perfect Rack Billiards in Murray Hill.
With the 61st pick of the second round, Jacksonville tabbed tight end Brenton Strange out of Penn State. Strange caught 70 balls for the Nittany Lions, who used him like a Swiss Army knife. He ran routes from tight end, slot, and wideout positions, and could add the element of diversity to a Jacksonville offense looking for more options.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's the Amateur's Edge. Brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
And we're back. We're having a good conversation, but listen, let's go straight to the lines. We got a caller. Adele, go ahead.
Hey, I got a question, fellas. How y'all doing today?
Good, man.
What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing, everything. I'm enjoying the show, listen to the show. I just had a question as far as from the athlete's perspective. A lot of athletes think that it's a lack of motivation, but I also think there's a lack of clarity. And what's you guys take on how did you get the best players to play like the best players? What are the habits that you need to help them get right?
Wow, that's a great question, Adele. I would say right now a great example would be from the draft would be Anthony Richardson, right? Didn't play a lot at the University of Florida, lacked the experience, but you can see him flash the talent, right? He has the size, he has the arm strength, has the speed. Now it's going to be imperative for the Indianapolis Colts organization to develop him into a third overall pick and to be the face of the franchise. It's going to rely on everything with his development. And you're going to have to start with mentally, the mental part of the game. And then from that standpoint, it's just going to take repetition, man, and just coach him through it. Be there for him for the ups and downs, you know. The preseason is going to be huge for him to have that success and gain that confidence. But once he brings that confidence and the coaches instills that in him with a great game plan, I think he will have a great career moving forward.
And I second the mental part. I think, and you guys know y'all played at an elite level. Like once you get to that level, everybody's an athlete. Everybody. I mean, again, you got big defensive linemen running 4.4s now. So everybody's an athlete. So the mental part is going to be extremely important when you're talking about developing that athlete first and foremost. And then at the end of the day, too, it comes down to the reps. You know, getting those reps in, getting in the film room, learning the film. You know, all those things come as a part of developing you as an athlete. So when you talk about preparation, the mental part, the physical part, watching the film, also taking care of your body, all those things come into account when you talk about developing an athlete. So.
What you think about that, Strizzle?
Well, I agree with everything you're saying, but at the end of the day, the number one factor in that is how much does that guy want it.
Yeah.
With every great player, you know, you can coach. And the talent is there. I've seen guys have a ton of talent, was very smart, but they just didn't want it. They just didn't have the heart. So at times, you know, first and foremost, you got to be able to have the heart, and you got to be able to, you got to want it, and you got to be able to take coaching. You got to be able to learn and pick the stuff up. So.
And I would say, just to add to it, the Philadelphia Phillies, I'm not the Phillies, the Eagles. The Bird Dogs, right? So the Colts grabbed their coach from that Eagles organization, and they already have a blueprint on how they developed Jalen, right? Jalen Hurts. So they have a blueprint, and they have a guy who has a playbook that's gonna go, you know, align with Anthony Richardson's skill set. So I think when you look at it from that perspective, I think the opportunity for him to be successful is there.
There you go.
Man, thanks, Adele. We got another caller on the line, Marshall. You there, Marshall?
Gentlemen. Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
sir.
You're perfect.
Good. I'm probably older than all y'all's parents. When I was growing
That's
up,
old.
for growing up in a small rural town was Coach would come up on Saturdays and unlock the gym early in the day, and he'd come back late in the afternoon and lock it up and chase us off. Over time, it seems like to me there's been a lot more opportunity for a lot of young kids to get some education on how, obviously Marcus Stroud was the biggest, baddest dude in the whole area, so he could just knock people over. But I'm sure at some point he got some good education, maybe in high school from a coach. But I understand there's a lot more of that going on today, like listening to Denny Thompson talk about what he's been doing with Anthony Richardson. Could you just share a little bit about what some of the people who are not super athletes at age 10 have the opportunity to learn from some folks who do understand the skills of whatever sport it is that they're wanting to take part in?
Well, first,
And I'll hang up and just listen to y'all on the air, okay?
Hey, thanks for your question.
Yeah, thanks for your question. And that's a great question as well. One of the things that, he mentioned in that statement he just made was, how coaches used to open up the gym. The other side of that is we used to just go outside and play all day. Summertime, we early in the morning, we'll come get that bologna sandwich with the little juice cup.
Hit the water hose. Get them nutrients.
And so all that stuff came natural to us, right? We played freeze tag, dodgeball, running in between cars and learning how to control your body and all that kind of stuff. So that stuff came natural to us because we got outside and we played and we developed proprioception through that way or what have you. But now you do have places like our sports performance facility where we work on balance and agility and we do different cone drills to make them think on the fly or what have you and all those things. But there's more of a scientific approach that we take to doing those types of things. So, we have things like force mats where we can see how high you jump and how quick you jump and how well you absorb force. And we have the laser timers that show how fast you can run up to and how quick you can respond to stimulus and all those things. So it's on a whole nother level.
The testing part.
The testing part is huge. And again, even from our perspective, like we have a system in place now where we are testing an athlete because there's so many different components that go into making you run fast. There's so many different components that go into helping you jump high. So we test those individual components to see exactly what it is that your athlete needs, and we customize the program based off of that. So they actually get like a 20-page report.
Oh, wow.
That breaks your body down from an anatomical and a physiological standpoint and shows you exactly, okay, this is what you need to do to get to that next level as an athlete. So it's crazy because, like, I love giving, like, the analogy of, like, LeBron and Tom Brady. People wonder why they're able to play at a high level 20 years into it. And it's because of all this technology. We know how to take care of the body now. We know exactly what it is that they need to not overwork them or what have you. We know exactly what they need when it's time to train. So they're not if there's any imbalances in their body movement patterns and all those different things. So when you're able to balance all that stuff out and you know all these things, it tremendously helps with the development of athletes.
So you start talking about the age range. I mean, our youngest kid is what?
Like 8 years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. So you mean to tell me that this McDonald's I used to eat before I used to go train, it wasn't good for me?
It wasn't no good for you. That's why you was throwing up.
Man, I love them Big Macs, man.
Oh, man. Like, when I used to coach high school football in Atlanta, and all the little guys I was coaching, they all had trainers and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, man, you guys just don't know how lucky you got it. I played with, if a guy like Champ Bailey had a trainer at 8 years old,
right?
Like,
yeah.
We was
wow.
This dude was
a freak.
We didn't learn about any of this stuff till college, man. And and it all depends on your region a little bit. I'm from rural South Georgia.
Gotcha.
It wasn't no trainers in rural South Georgia.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We learned our balance on
dirt
jumping off houses. You saw how? No, I'm serious. You saw how you could jump if you could jump. We used to jump flat. My granddaddy used to have this old truck. We used to jump flat-footed into the bed of the truck to see who could jump the high. I got scars on my shins from missing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Putting in that work. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it was fun though.
It was
fun. You know what I mean? But we
fun.
Really, you think about, that's the same thing as jumping on the force pad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But now you have people who can guide this stuff and range it in, and it helps you develop quicker and faster.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And people sometimes ask me, how did I get a quick release in my throwing motion? I used to throw rocks. right?
Yeah.
When I was at my grandmother's house, rural Mississippi, just dirt roads and rocks and, man, just throwing rocks, throwing at targets, making miss small, aim small. So I'm just doing this every day. And you don't understand what you're training your body to do.
Yeah. No, that's
But
huge.
now the kids, to everyone's point, they have someone that can instruct them, lead them, tell them the rights and the wrong ways of doing things. And it's just a different age now.
It's crazy though too, but just speaking more to what Stroud was talking about, jumping on the truck, missing it, scraping up his shin, but still getting back up. And it kind of segues into another topic that we were going to talk about, like the mental side of some of these athletes and how things are nowadays, right? Like we're in an age where athletes are getting fans kicked out of games for picking on them. And so again, me being a regular person or not playing at the level that you guys have played on, would like to get your take on how you would handle those types of things. Like, how do you handle hecklers and things like that? And how far do it go? Because again, like for me, from the outside looking in, I'm telling you, Jackie Robinson went through hell. So and I don't think anything a fan is saying these days is any level near what Jackie Robinson went through. So when you sit here and you tell LeBron wants to get a fan kicked out because they was picking on his tape line, or Russell Westbrook, he's in the back suites at the Suns game and he gets mad and wants to fight a fan. And I get they can be disrespectful, but come on, bro. Like,
you have to look at the whole scope of it. Just don't put the sports world on it. You got to put the whole scope on everything.
Oh, here we go.
No, seriously.
No, I like it. I like it.
It's a reflection.
Talk to me.
What they're doing in the sports world is a reflection of what we seeing every day.
Okay.
In everyday life.
Okay.
So guess what? Everybody's gotten soft.
No, for sure.
The entire world is soft now. Because back in the day, the stuff we used to call joning and playing and kicking jokes.
Dirty dozens, all that.
That'll get you kicked out of school. Playing the dozens is the bullying now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'll get you, if you're in school, that'll get you home.
Right.
So the things that some of our teachers said to us during school would get them fired right now.
That's true.
You feel me?
That's
so
true.
everybody, the whole culture is softer. So these are the kids, like the people that's playing now, these are the ones who came up during that time when if you say something, you getting in trouble. You can't, like we used to have teachers, somebody come crying to the teacher would be like, hey, y'all all playing, figure it out.
Tighten up.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And what's crazy is too, like when, as a kid, most of us, we went hours away from our parents.
Yeah.
We had to govern ourselves. We had to protect ourselves. We were out into the elements, both physically and mentally. Absolutely. And so, but now these kids don't go outside. They don't have the same social interaction that we have. They don't have the same mindset. They are definitely softer because they ain't had to protect themselves and, worry about if you're going to have to fight when you get off the school bus and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And they give each other too much access to each other. Back in the day, you had a problem with somebody at school. Even if on the worst end, you getting bullied or something at school, guess what?
When you got home,
at
you
3
were done
o'clock,
with
you
it.
didn't have to worry. You might have to see him again the next day, but you ain't got to worry.
Right.
Now,
Social
3 o'clock,
media.
you go home. You look at your phone at 3:30, they still talking about you. So,
That's true.
So you have to look at all that. It brings it to. But yes, the athletes have gotten a little softer. But also look at it at this point too. If I'm me as an athlete, you don't like how I'm playing. Stroud, you suck. You should go die, do something, whatever. Okay, cool. If I see that same person doing their job, that person may be a bank teller, right?
Yeah. They at Bank of America.
I can't walk into Bank of America and be like, Judy, you stink. You hadn't cashed the check all day. What are you doing? Y'all should fire Judy.
But now you compare apples to oranges, though, man, because that's part of the game. Having fans yelling.
No,
you can't.
You can go in there and say that.
No,
they'll kick him out. They don't kick him out just like the Braun got.
The fans and the crowd is the element of your job. You know that going into that.
So because the fans and the element are part of the job, that doesn't mean I signed up to get disrespected.
You can look at it like that, man.
Just because you pay money for a ticket doesn't give you the right to disrespect somebody. You can't pay to disrespect somebody.
But heckling is a part of the game, man, and you know what they trying to do.
It's a difference between heckling and being disrespectful as well. When you start bringing kids, parents, family members. That's what part of heckling is that? You know, back in the day as a kid, somebody said something about your mama.
What's going to happen?
What was happening?
We face to face. That's a little more personal, right? But if it's somebody out in the crowd and I'm in the and I'm hooping,
if somebody said something about your parents or something back in the day, what was gonna happen?
It's on right there.
We got
on
the
site. On site.
Period.
Okay, but then you did mention that this is a different culture. This is 2023. So, and bringing it all perspective. Now, we can talk old school because we some old heads here.
We are parents now.
And we are parents now.
And now, when your kid comes to you, Dad, they owe me at school.
What are you supposed to say now?
What's the approach now?
The approach now is some of this. That's why you have to. You got to eat some of this stuff, or you have to go tell the proper authorities. It's changed because you can get yourself in trouble.
Yes,
by doing that. Now, words are words. As what's our old saying? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Right.
So words are words. You got to. You have to. Because people always have an opinion. An opinion ain't always right. But now once you become physical. Now we have another different little conversation.
Definitely a whole nother element.
I like it. It was a whole nother element. It's a whole nother time, and unfortunately, we're not in 1973 or 1993.
Yeah,
we are here.
I wasn't in 73.
Yeah. well, doggone it, I'm a little bit older than y'all. That's okay. Listen, this has been a great show, man. Marcus, thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Cleo, you the man. Thank you again.
No doubt, man. Strizzle in the building.
Hey,
Fairway killer.
Man, enjoyed it.
Hey, hit him straight today, baby.
I'm trying my best.
All right, Jay, we're going to take this thing on. Listen, make sure you guys tune in next week. We're going to be back here at the same time, same channel, talking about this amateur stuff and helping the athlete to be the best version of themselves. You've been listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Coffee? Have a cup of coffee with Jacksonville.